Hey everyone, this is Kathleen with Windy Chaos, and it has been a frustrating day trying to record this. So, for the 478th take, I'm going to teach you guys how to do Dutch doors. So, between my own inexpertise with Dutch doors and video snafus, it's just been one of those days. But I hope that I can pass on some knowledge here and you can have a lot of fun with this because they're really popular right now and ZoomNotes does them best. I mean, they just do. And so let's jump into it. I'm using a Shelly planner here just because it's got the center um, divide. One of the things you'll want to do is make sure that your 3D page turn is on for whatever pages you're doing. So I'm going to make sure it's on these two pages. And I have my fingers crossed and my toes crossed and my eyes crossed and my legs crossed. But this goes off without a hitch. Okay, so we've got our 3D turn on. We're going to now, actually, I didn't need it on that second page because what I'm going to do, unless I've already done it. Okay, no, I haven't. So you can see I'm on Wednesday, May 21st. Up here you can see my page number is 232. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to write here, hidden. So this is like info that you would want to hide behind a Dutch door. And over here, I need to get over to my planner bits. One of the new things in this kit is I've included some Dutch doors, which are super fun. But these are images, and an actual Dutch door in ZoomNotes is a shape. So later we're going to layer that image on top of the shape, but first we have to create the shape, then the Dutch door, the links, make sure everything's working right, and then we play with the image part. So I've made this hidden. I'm going to duplicate this page. Now, if I were planning, I'd do my whole spread, and then I would maybe pull in that image and make sure everything's tucked where I want it to go, and then get rid of the image again, because what I really need is to know the shape. So if this were all planned, then I would do this plus sign here. See this one here? That's what we want. That's going to duplicate this page. And so you can see that we're still on Wednesday and that hidden bit is right there. So I'm going to go back to the first one. I'm on 232. 233 is where I'm going to link to. So on 232, I'm going to go in, and I don't know why this changed. You know, it's so annoying when things just randomly change on you because that should be my shape tool right there. Raise symbol, straight line shape. There we go. That might have been my own fault because I had it as a star. Okay, sorry about that. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make it just a rectangle. And I'm going to draw a shape. And the shape right now doesn't have a fill, but I want it to because I'm just going to pop it down to 50% so I can see my hidden part beneath. Okay, and now I'm going to go over to the link. So the link is where I'm going to tell it that I need this to be a Dutch door. Oops, I must have tapped off of it. tap, link, Dutch door. I'm going to tell it what page I need to go to, which is 233. And now under this part here, you see that we've got that linked page, and I want to make a reverse link as well. Now, when we tap off, we should get a Dutch door. And it's showing that other blue bit, but that's okay. We're gonna fix that in a minute. I'm hoping. It shouldn't be there, but it could be because, yep, because I didn't have the center thing on. There we go. Now it's gone. So our Dutch door is working correctly. Now, I want to make it pretty. So I'm going to grab this guy. I'm just going to hit copy and paste. And I'm going to make it about that size, which you can see the blue, it doesn't completely match it. That's okay. I can go back and kind of play with that just a little. Still need to make that a little bit bigger. It's easier to make it bigger and then, yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. Okay. So now that's on there, but it's only on the one side. So when I open it, when I flip, it flips like it should, but then that image goes away. So you can either use the reverse if you've got it of this, like I do in this kit, or if I didn't have a reverse, I could take this, copy it. There we go. Under operations, copy. I'm going to flip it over, paste, and then I'm going to flip it horizontally. Again, that shape didn't have the same. When the reverse link was made, the shape wasn't exactly the same size that it is now. So I can, on the front side anyway, so I can kind of change that up a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so let's make sure. Yes, it works. Okay, now to get rid of the blue, I'm going to tap on it. Got to make sure I'm tapping on the shape. And then I'm going to do fill, take that off. You can see how the fill kind of helps you though figure out what your window is, because that shape, oh, here we go. That shape is creating a window cutout. So if I pull something off of that, it gets a little funky. So here we go. Shape, take off the fill. So like if I left that hanging like that, it would get a little weird. See how it would pull it down there? That's okay. Just go back to your select tool, pull that guy up. Now you might be thinking, well, look, I've missed half my rings now. So if I turn off that layer and I go to my grab tool, now that popped it up exactly the size I wanted and where I want it because I've practiced this a couple of times, but it'll always remember the last size and shape that it was. So just move it around to where you want it exactly and then tap off and it'll do copy and then paste. And there it is. Come on. Sorry, it's, and then if I go into image, I can go into transparency. I'm going to do fill. I'm adding transparency right there. So that takes care of that. And then I can zoom in and clean it up a little by using the paint. And this up here at the top determines my paintbrush size. And if some things had gotten accidentally covered over, I can subtract the transparency and add them back in. And I can add transparency on any bits that are a little rough. If you find that you do the transparency and it's really off, it's because your tolerance is off. And I'll show you where that is in just a second. I'm just going to clean that up. And again, doing the Dutch door kind of as your last thing is going to allow you to put these little finishing touches like on the very top layer. You don't want to get all this done and then have to manipulate your layers too much. So there we go, save on that. And then if you want, just add this to your symbols because then you'll always have it and you won't have to go through that again and again. And Shelly, on Shelly Planner, she has these, she'll have the ring part. She doesn't have the center bit with it, but you know, it's all personal preference at this point type thing. But oh, I was going to show you on the transparency when you're doing the fill, this part here, right at the top, this is your tolerance. So if you hit it, if you have it like this and it just takes everything away and you're having to paint back tons of stuff, it's because your tolerance is too high. If you have really scraggly edges and you needed it to just be a little beefier, it's because your tolerance was too low. So there you go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit cut. I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to do paste. And then there it is. And if I was being really good, I would go ahead and label these. This is my rings. This is my Dutch door. And usually you'd have a couple more layers, probably like, you know, your planning parts, your decorative parts, your handwriting part. You know, it's just always a really good idea to have different things on different layers. Sorry, guys. I didn't cough like this. I didn't cough like this earlier when I did it the 360th time instead of the 485th time. So that's how you can do Dutch doors in ZoomNotes. Now, here's a word of warning. Every time you're doing this, you're adding a page. So you could easily double the size of your planner without meaning to. And if you're doing it a decorated page, then it could get really big really fast. So I would say save Dutch doors for special occasions. I would not make it part of my daily planning. Weekly planning, you're probably okay. But daily planning would probably be a little over the top. Unless you are somebody who does quarterly planning or monthly planning and, you know, keeps your file size small. I just could not in good conscience say do daily Dutch doors in this way. So the other way that you're seeing a lot of folks doing this using Noteful is they're just putting on that Dutch door, putting on that image, and then just on its own layer and hitting visibility basically. And you can totally do that in ZoomNotes as well. You could decorate it all, and if you don't care about the cute flip and all of that, then you could just have your visibility that way. So like in this one, You just turn it off. Now that took away the word hidden because I didn't put that on a separate layer. So, that only works if you separate out your layers. And then here's my idea how I plan to use Dutch doors, and that is to use them as a way to just tuck in subpages because that's kind of where I like to use my planner, like when I'm making phone calls and stuff, especially for my mom. A lot of them are medical calls, and I'm taking notes like, okay, she has to stop taking her medicine on this day at this time and can't take it again until, 5 p.m. or whatever. Um, so I go, and when I'm taking these notes, I don't care what they look like. I'm just jotting down the information. I'm not going to rewrite it, but I do like to have it in my planner. So, um, this right here, that is the sub page. And I click on it, and then I'll go in. Oops, sorry, I clicked on a link instead of on the sub page. Usually I do pull them off to the side. And so I'll make my notes and such, but then if I wanted to make it really cute, what I could do is like I could do a highlighter here. And then Dr. W, and I could put a date on it. And then here would just be all chicken scratch because it would be looking rough. So that's okay. And then to get out of the sub page, to go back where I am, I go to this one right here where it says page up. Now, a lot of this that you're seeing with the swoops and the turns and all of that, that's because I have my thing not set to scrolling. And that's how I prefer to plan. I like to be able to move things around. I love to be able to put my stickers like up here and then arrange them and stuff. I very rarely have it on scrolling. So, again, that's just a personal preference thing, but it serves a purpose for me. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my select tool. I'm going to take this. I'm going to do like this. Actually, I need to take, I'm going to cut it first. And I'm going to make oops, sorry. I'm going to do subpages. And the cool thing about subpages is you can have multiple ones that are on one subpage per se, but you can have subpages of subpages. Okay, and then I'm gonna paste that. And then I'm going to zoom it down. Made these pretty tiny. Because I put it on its own layer, I can go into manage, and then I want it to go beneath the Dutch door. Beneath the Dutch door. Why are you doing this to me? There. More than one way to skin a cat. Okay, so I'm on this one, and you can lock things down if you need to. I got that a little. Okay, that's not doing the way I want it to. On the right page? Yeah. Oh, it may be because of the Dutch door. Okay, I think I know what's going on. It's because that's an actual Dutch door. And what I would be doing I would not be using a Dutch door in this instance. I would just be using the image. So so it's acting funny, but it's because that cutout has already happened. So let me take this, I'll show you what I mean. Um, if I were on another page here and I took this, let's take this pretty, well, let's first paste in this. This would be my lowest level, basically, you know. I'd have my planner and stuff, and then up here, copy, paste. If I wanted to kind of just cover that up, then I would have it like that. And again, one of those things where, okay, yes, I could just turn off that level that has that Dutch door. But the fun thing about subpages is if I click on it, if I click on the page itself, come on. Okay. Yep. Why are we acting silly? Something's going on with my links. Because I do this all the time with the... Hmm. Yeah, no, generally I don't have this problem. I don't know why. Maybe just because I moved it. Let's try this again, guys. I'm sorry. I'm showing you bad examples here. I've never had it do that before. Okay. I'm going to go into the page here. Oh, the other thing I like to do on subpages, I love to give it a title. Dr. W 2225. Let's do that. And then here I can change the paper color if I want. So say I want to make it this cute green. Done. I think what's going on is my ZoomNotes is saying I'm done. I have taxed it today and it is not loving life right this moment. There. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. It has this kind of fun animation, especially if you kind of turn things on your side and stuff. So I could take and put this. I don't know it. I don't know why it's not showing. Oh, okay. I think I know why it's not doing it. Because I wasn't on the page. Silly, silly, silly. Okay. It's probably not a color I would use actually, but there we go. And then this, I could do send to back. There we go. Here's one thing though. If you write on here, it's going to show up on the subpage. So whatever you layer on top can, so if I were to write, that was supposed to be hello, but it looks like Hulu or something crazy. And I tap away, it kind of goes away, which is cool, but it's going to show up there. So it is one of those kind of funky things. So I would decorate this and maybe put it on its own layer and then tuck my little slips of paper. So that's how I will be using Dutch doors, just to keep my planner file size reasonable. Um, and one last thing I wanted to show you on my planner. There we go. did use some Dutch doors on my P2P. And instead of saying center for where the fold is, you tell it that, see, like this one, I did the little Dutch door that way. I mean the sub page, and just tucked the Dutch door there. That was from Cozy Bear. This one I just made up, um, but it was my most successful. And I played with the padding to be able to have the kind of background and stuff. So that was when I was just kind of figuring some things out, but I think I've got it down a little better. I was kind of incorporating the image into the shape, and that's really not the way you want to think about it. That shape is kind of the skeleton, and you want to place the image on top of it. When it talks about putting the image in the shape, it's really talking about that big planner page that you've now made a cutout in. So that's where I was really messing up. So anyway, you can see I'm super behind in doing my planning. I'm hoping to have some things up soon, including like just some fun plan with me's. So hope you guys learned something good, and I am just praying that everything is on this video. And that I'm not going to hit play and it's a black screen like the last one I did. Thank you all for your patience and have a wonderful day.